Hi, it's again Vitali T, and today we'll stop for a little bit my videos about chord melodies, and we spend our time for very interesting stuff, and I call them videos by request. Well, my students ask me to put that video because they work on the same concepts right now, and they want to see a reference, and they want to always have something that they can look and refresh on their knowledge, or also maybe somebody else would like that idea. So today we're going to talk about probably the simplest scales every guitar player knows. It's a pentatonics. And I guess even easier way, we're going to talk about minor pentatonics all the time. But we can talk about the pentatonics in two possible ways. We can learn them straight ahead, means you play pentatonic from the root of the chord and the root of the pentatonic will be the same. Or you may play as a superimposition, which means that the root of the pentatonic will be completely different than the root of chord that you play that scale over. So, and today we're going to talk about chromatic combination of pentatonics over 2-5-1 jazz turnaround. Well, 2-5-1, as far as you know, if you know a little bit about jazz, there is actually three different 2-5-1s. It's a major 2-5-1, minor 2-5-1, and actually dominant 2-5-1. Today we're going to talk about only major 2-5-1 in the simplest key ever, key of C major. Now, I've learned that idea from amazing guitar player Corey Christiansen. So you can connect pentatonics chromatically over that turnaround, and this is why they outline each chord. So I work on that concept a lot, and I change that, in my opinion, a little changes, make it a little bit different and add a more possibilities. So right now in my vocabulary I have 4 possibilities of chromatic connection, a minor or major pentatonics over any kind of 2-5-1. Today we're going to talk only about one possibility, but if you understand that and you have a little knowledge about jazz theory, you probably will understand another's, or if you're not, well, let me know and I'll probably do a video about it. So before we start, I guess a few words I want to say. You need to know a cage system. Cage system, it's a system of 5 major chords, or actually it's a system of 5 shapes of the major chords, so that all your scales and arpeggios will relate to. If you know that, and I guess I don't want to spend right now my time to explaining the simple stuff that you probably already know, and if you don't, well, go on internet, YouTube, or any other book sources, you'll find tons of the information about that. So it's not complicated concept to learn, but I just want to make sure that when I say A form or C form, you understand what it means. Okay, so right now I guess let's start to talk about actual scales in our 2-5-1 turnaround. So the first thing I would like to explain about 2-5-1, so there is 2 different types of 2-5-1 exist. It's a quick 2-5-1 or short 2-5-1 and a long 2-5-1, which is sometimes called standard 2-5-1. What it means? Well, quick 2-5-1 is pretty much only 2 measures, which means that 2 and 5 chords will stay only for a half of first measure. So right now we go to the easiest key ever, so you won't be confused with any sharps of flats except 5 chord. So we right now go to a key of C major, and our 2 chord will be D minor. Our 5 chord will be G dominant. I'll play altered dominant, well, let's say sharp 5. And our 1 chord will be C major 7 or C major 6, or anything else with the major over that degree. Right? So right now, if it's quick 2-5-1, means my 2 and 5 chords will stay only for 2 beats, and my root chord, tonic chord C, will stay for entire measure, measure 2, or for 4 beats, right? So pretty much quick 2-5-1 will be, I don't know, kind of like that. So long 2-5-1 when everything is twice longer. So our 2 chord and 5 chord will stay for entire measure each, and our 1 chord will stay for 2 measures or 8 beats. So right now the longest 2-5-1 that we're gonna play is gonna be that long one for 4 measures. So pretty much it's gonna be, I don't know, some kind of stuff like that. Some kind of stuff like that. So what can we do over that stuff? If we think about minor pentatonics, we may play over our 2-chord straight ahead minor pentatonic of that chord, right? This is why I choose that concept. So it's the easiest one of all chromatic pentatonic superimposition stuff. So if we got a D minor chord here, and well, I play actually C form, so you may play a straight ahead C form of that pentatonic. We'll start from root on string number 5. It's not so bad, but also I guess the most common form that I use in my phrases on examples of the licks that you can create over chromatic pentatonics was for sure A form, right? So nobody will be confused with that. We also may start to play our forms from the lowest note in a shape. So right now over D will be A, which is 5th degree, or degree now, 5th degree, I'm sorry. Now, over our G altered chord, we're gonna use D sharp or E flat minor pentatonic, which is I still prefer to call as a D sharp, because it outlines a sharp 5th degree over G altered dominant chord. So if we play, let's say C form of D sharp minor pentatonic from the lowest note in that form, which will be a 4th degree of our D sharp minor pentatonic, but we still remember play over G altered dominant chord. So what do we have? We have 1 octave scale as like that, right? So over D sharp minor we play nothing else as a 4th degree, 5th degree, flat 7 root and a flat 3rd. But let's look how those notes will relate to our G altered dominant chord. And this is why it's called altered, because all those notes will create tension. So over G note, our A flat will be flat 9, our B flat will be sharp 9, our D flat, which is you may call C sharp, but I'll still prefer to call it as D flat, will be a flat 5, and E flat will be flat 13, but at the same time I'll prefer to call this sharp 5. Also we've got 1 note F sharp, so right now that note is pretty strange over dominant 7 chord, but it'll be major 7th, right? So pretty much we kind of have a major 7 type of sound, but it's not. I don't know if you studied jazz or not, but I guess if you know a little bit about that music and about that music theory, you will know that phrase bebop scale. So what bebop scale is? Obviously bebop scale is a scale with 8 notes, because we add 1 extension or 1 extra note that creates a chromatic motion, a chromatic turnaround. So right now, if we look on that major 7th as an extra note that we can add to any dominant scale, that will be a bebop tone. So you can remember that. If you have any kind of major 7th in a dominant scale, that will be a bebop dominant scale. So right now, for example, if we play just a regular Mixolydian scale that everybody I'm sure familiar with, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7, 1, and add that major 7, it'll be Mixolydian bebop scale. Right? But right now we've got a bunch of alterations, and in my opinion, what do we have from playing a D sharp minor pentatonic over a G chord? It's nothing else as a altered dominant scale or super Locrian scale, how California guys like to call that, and pretty much is one of the modes from a melodic minor scale. And if you do know that stuff, so altered dominant scale will be just 1, flat 9, sharp 9, 3, flat 5, sharp 5, and right now we've got flat 7, 1. But if we use that extra note that we have, major 7th, so we have nothing else as a just altered dominant bebop scale, right? Because we have still same thing. Now major 7, 1. So we've got altered dominant bebop. Right? So right now that D sharp minor pentatonic will create that kind of tension, and they kind of scale over our 5 chord. Now, our 1 chord will play E minor pentatonic, which is pretty much nothing else as the simplest substitution we can do over any kind of major chord. I guess if you saw my previous video about My Romance chord melody, you learned that idea. Over any kind of major chord, you can play a minor chord up a major 3rd degree, or from 3rd degree of that major chord. So pretty much in that case, if we got a C major chord, our 3rd degree will be E. So right now we can substitute that chord with a minor chord, E minor chord, or actually play over our C major chord, just the E minor pentatonic. If you look on all notes from that E minor pentatonic, you will see that pretty much over our C chord, it will create kind of C major 9 chord, right? So once again, what do we have? We will have a 3 chromatic pentatonics. We have D minor pentatonic over our 2 chord, D minor chord, straight ahead from the root. We will have our D sharp or E flat minor pentatonic over G altered dominant chord, which is 5 chord in our turnaround. And we have E minor pentatonic over our C major chord. So right now, instead of play scale over each chord and move those scales, like if we play from D, let's say Dorian, and we go to a G, so we move down a 4th, and after that resolve up a 5th, and actually up a 4th, I'm sorry, to a C major. So right now it's too complicated, and the actual leading is too far away. So by playing chromatic stuff, we will do actually very interesting combination of all those notes, and play a little bit more linear, so all the notes will be very close to each other. Well, I guess I just want to tell a few words about how can you connect all those notes together, so what you play won't be sound as an exercise or just kind of like mechanical work, so it will be sound more as a music, because this is our target. So let me talk about combination of scales and actually scales connection. So I guess few words that I need to tell about the pentatonics connection before we actually learn those licks and maybe try to analyze them. It's how can we play them. First, let's think about that. We have 3 chromatic scales, and if we not think about a direction of our playing, they will sound not that good. They will sound like more like an exercise, but not like a music at all. So what can we do with that? Well, if we have a quick 2-5-1, so pretty much right now we've got over 2-5-1 turnaround, 3 chromatic pentatonics, D minor, D sharp minor, and E minor. So if we think about, well, it's quick 2-5-1, we have only 2 beats over each chord, and we can play actually triplets, which is pretty common thing in the jazz music. And if we play triplets, we can actually take a half of our form, because in every triplet we've got 3 notes, and we have in a quick 2-5-1 2 beats, so that pretty much means that over each chord we can play 6 notes. So in every pentatonic we got 2 notes per string, so pretty much we can play 3 strings over each chord in a quick 2-5-1. So let's say I'll play first 6 notes in a D minor pentatonic. Now my next pentatonic will be a D sharp or E flat minor pentatonic, and that will be played over G altered dominant chord. But right now what I do to being able to connect those scales a little bit tighter and better and let them be more musical is I switch to my next scale but continue my motion from the next string, right? So pretty much it's going to be another 3 strings over my G altered dominant chord from E flat or D sharp minor pentatonic. So what half as far is that? So as far as I talk, it's supposed to be triplets, so it's going to be 1 pillet, 2 pillet, 3 pillet, 4 pillet, right? So it's... Now, actually I can try to go higher on my next chord, but it's time to switch to E minor pentatonic, and I'll switch to the closest note, which is D, and right now I flip my motion, so I go backwards, right? So pretty much I play over my second chord in a turnaround over D minor, I play up, right? Over 5 chord, I still continue my up motion, but I continue, I'm not started over from the lowest note, right? I don't want to be a silly. And right now, over my 1 chord, I go completely down. So pretty much as far as what I have. It's okay, right? It sounds a little bit more melodical. It's kind of better if we'll just play this way instead of play, I don't know, like... Well, I tried to round that lick because the whole thing I just played is just so annoying and cut my ears, so I tried to round that up with some kind of melodical stuff, but it still doesn't sound good. It doesn't sound like a music at all. So let me demonstrate just a scale motion over quick 251 first, so you hear how the scale relates it to the chords, and I guess you will hear that actually the outline change is not so bad. So right now let's do the quick 251, and I guess I'll play the same idea. I'll play up, up, down, right? So over 2 chord play up, over 5 chord up, and over 1 chord I play down, right? So well, so right now we also have a long 251, and in long 251 what I do, because we have entire measure for each completely chord or for each scale, so I'll play same thing, but I kind of flip my motion more rather. So for example, over my 2 chord I'll play the entire form of the scale, right? So I play up. Now over my 5 chord I go to D sharp minor pentatonic and I play completely down. So right now I connected up, down, right? If in quick 251 we connected up, up, and only on last chord we go down. Right now, because we have more time, we play up or our 2 chord, we play down or our 5 chord, and actually right now I'll play up over my 1 chord, so it's going to be E minor pentatonic. Well, let me try to demonstrate how those pentatonics will sound with actual chords, so you'll clearly hear so they work not so bad as well. Well, so pretty much what I try to go higher, and even on my 1 chord, as far as I play the entire shape of the scale, I don't want to stop. I don't want to go back and start it over, because again, the huge jump, it's always amelodical, so it's not good. So I try to continue my motion as hard as I can, so make sure I outline entire chord. Well, the other thing about the directions of our scales, that in my opinion there is 6 possible directions. Well, when you play up over 2nd chord, you may play down over 5 chord like we just did, and up over 1 chord. So the first possibility, up, down, up. Now, second possibility will be same as we play over our quick 251. It's up, up again, and down over 1 chord. So the third possibility, when you continue go up over the entire turnaround, right? So it's going to be up, up, up. Now we also may play same thing but just reversed, right? Over 2 chord we may play down, over 5 chord up, and over 1 chord down again. We also may play over 2 and 5 chord down, and 1 chord we play up. And right now the last possibility, possibility number 6, will be when you play down completely over all turnaround. You play down over 2 chord, down over 5, and down over 1 chord. So 6 possibilities. If you know them, I guess you will understand the basics about scales connections, or I prefer to call that a melody voice leading. So I guess learn those licks that I've got, and try to see the connections of the forms and the connections of the different melodic motions that I just explained. So good luck on that. In Quick 251, for understanding the whole chromatic concept better, I use only A forms of a D minor and D sharp minor and E minor pentatonic. So for all pentatonics I use same forms, so you always can see them a little bit more clear. So pretty much I think about every scale just chromatically. It's not only as a concept but also as our motion on the fretboard. In our long 251s lick, because I have way more freedom and more time, I did more different shapes, but we'll talk about that later. So right now, Quick 251, we have 2 beats over D minor chord, 2 beats over G altered dominant chord, and 4 beats over C major chord, major 6 or major 7. So, and right now, all those licks will be written in 3 chromatic shapes. So it's going to be D minor pentatonic in A form, now D sharp minor pentatonic in A form, and E minor pentatonic in the same A form. Pretty much, if I play just the root chords from those minor pentatonics, they will go chromatically as well. Not very jazzy chords, pretty standard bar chords, but they, I guess, will clearly give you a vision of entire pentatonic scales. So if you understand that, I guess try to learn those licks. Let's listen them first and work on them, and I'll tell you a little bit more about long 251s. So I explained what I did and kind of try to move that concept towards something more real, something more musical. Well, but let's learn Quick 251s first. Hey, I guess you learned already Quick 251, so let's talk about long 251s. In long 251s, I try to go away from play our scales chromatically, because, well, the mode's connected chromatically already, so we don't need to play shapes chromatically as well. It's boring. What I did, I connect shapes in different ways. So here, if you know KH system, it'll be very easy to understand what I did. If you don't know, please learn that, because it'll be very important stuff for you. It doesn't matter what kind of music do you play. So I guess In our licks 7 and 9, I did pretty much the same thing. So I connect my scales down in fretboard, even the actual modes going up. So I play over D chord, D minor pentatonic in A form. Now, D sharp minor pentatonic I play in C form. Now, E minor pentatonic I play in D form. Okay, so that was licks number 7 and 9. Lick number 8 starts from A form, but after that I go to a C form. So it's going to be D minor pentatonic in A form. Now D sharp minor pentatonic in C form. Now E minor pentatonic, same in C form. And after that I resolve my E minor pentatonic to A form. Okay, so lick number 10 kind of starts same as our quick 2-5-1s. So I start from A form, go into another A form, and over our last E minor pentatonic I've played a C form, actually with kind of like resolving back to a little bit to A form. So pretty much our lick number 10, it's our quick 2-5-1 way of playing with kind of inserted C form of E minor pentatonic. So again, it's D minor pentatonic A form, D sharp minor pentatonic and same A form. Now E minor pentatonic in C form, that goes back to E minor pentatonic in A form. Okay, so our next two licks, 11 and 12, will be same as our quick 2-5-1 with all A forms, but right now I add more different forms, so imply that and add a richness and pretty much not stay with restricted shapes in my fretboard. So I started as a D minor chord with A form, go to a D sharp minor pentatonic still with A form, go to E minor pentatonic with A form, and after that I play same pentatonic in C form. Right? So last lick number 12, I try to make kind of wide, so I start from a C form of my D minor pentatonic and end up on a G form of my E minor pentatonic. So pretty much I play from pretty low notes on my fretboard to very high. It took at least more than half of my guitar fretboard. So D minor pentatonic in C form, D minor pentatonic in A form. Now I play a D sharp minor pentatonic in still A form, E minor pentatonic in A form, and right now E minor pentatonic was G form. But I still kind of think about, well, I can't extend that lick because as far as you see, lick 12 ended and you still got a little bit of a place at the very end, so you can extend that lick and go even higher. So for sure you're going to use E form of E minor pentatonic that every guitar player are familiar with completely, right? And you may round this up because, I mean, obviously the whole lick is ended on the octave over B note, over C major chord, it's going to be a major 7, but in using pentatonic you can use that kind of like a West Montgomery type of thing. You may go to E note and G, right? Or you may go to D note, right? So you may use some of those notes to create some kind of cool octave runs at the very end, or kind of like a transition to another lick. Well, good. So I guess if you understand all those concepts, there will be good guidelines for you to start to think about 2-5-1s as a chromatic pentatonics. Again, it was only one way. Over major 2-5-1, there exist another 3 ways to do that. And we also not talk about minor or dominant 2-5-1. So in every other 2-5-1s, you got another 4 ways of doing that. So plenty possibilities. So one thing I would like to tell about my phrases I've created, I kind of scared to call them licks because they're more of examples of how can you connect and how you can think about chromatic pentatonics. But if I'll play this in real gig, I will never do this same way as those licks written because, well, they're still very pentatonic-ish. So I'll probably add some more modal notes or passing tones. So feel free to change them rhythmically. Feel free to adding some more stuff to make this more real and apply and add to your jazz vocabulary. So I guess you may create your own or alter it my licks. And let me know if you like this or not. Well, I guess I'll see you next time in my next video. Bye.